Heyo everyone, this is Unfit Chaos here. We're going to take a look at a first preview of Season 4 for Conqueror's Blade and what's new. This video is mainly going to be about just a general overarching cover of all the new features and new stuff happening in Season 4. I'll be doing a couple other videos more in depth about some of the new units and other factors that are in play. First off though, with Season 4, it is very exciting to see some of the changes that they have made. As you may have already noticed, one of the first changes that I've actually been kind of wanting for quite a while is the addition of emotes. So now you can wave, cheer, and just generally react when you end up taking out your opponent and decide to rub it in. So the other big features that they've been making right now is actually some UI changes. So one of the big UI changes is actually the barracks. And they've done this in a couple locations where they've tried to clean up and streamline a lot of the UI to make it quicker and simpler to see and react to what's going on. So both the barracks have changed to this very clean, simple UI that allows you to scroll through all your different units and see them a little quicker and more efficiently. They've also updated that in a few other locations like the warband builds. Just your general menus have kind of gone to this very translucent gray background with very popping images and color schemes to see tiers of your units. So it's been a wonderful addition to making things a little simpler to see. So on top of the UI changes that they've been adding to a few things and the emotes, they've also been doing some changes to the house system. So with the house system in Season 4, you've got two major changes that are going to be happening. The first one is now you have house funds or house currency. So what this is actually that the house can earn bronze that can then be used to have your players be able to restock their units. So you're going to be able to set tax rates for the different tier of house members, and you can adjust it per your friendlies, neutrals, members, etc., all your different tiers, and also by their duties you can adjust how much funds they can expend weekly. You also are going to have your house challenges, and they were talking about quests, but the bounty hunting, and these will actually be quests that you can do as a house to then earn funds to go into the house currency. Now currently this is the only way to add funds to the house currency is to complete these challenges and bounties. They did mention that these should be weekly refreshes, so you can do all of these each week to kind of up that currency and then use that to kind of relieve your house members of the bronze expenditure of restocking their units. So this is a wonderful addition to kind of help the house and maintain your funds. So that's a wonderful addition as well. So on top of the house funds and quests, they also made a huge change to doctrines. There's a new system in place for how doctrines are handled for your units. So now if we go into the units, you have this new doctrine menu. So each unit has this cool little symbol that goes with it, and that will be how you handle doctrines from now on. So first off, the new menu pops up and you see two major changes. The first one is the arrangement, and the second one is you now have all your available doctrines on the side visible right away. So you no longer have to click on here to see what is available in your pool. So now they're all available right away. So you can sit here and look through them, see what tiers you have available of them, and even see which ones you don't have. So you can see I have 4 available to Iron Reapers that are not available. So then you can do some research and find out which ones are available. The next big change is actually how doctrines function. So first off, when you receive your doctrine, it's in your bag like normal. It's going to pop up, and then when you get on here, let me go to a unit I haven't adjusted yet. So for example, my Imperial Archers. So when I come in, I can see all the available doctrines in my pool of doctrines. So I can click on here and say I want to add Breakthrough. It'll then pop up, tell me how many are available. I don't want to expend that one. Let's go with a Common Piercing. So I've got 36 available doctrines. I can then press, hold, and activate. That doctrine is now available in the pool of Imperial Archers. So what this means is that doctrine is now tied to my Imperial archers. So I can actually then add it to my doctrines list for the Imperial archers. But if, say, I don't want it anymore, so I get a temporary doctrine from like a box or something, I can right click it and remove it, but it does not go away. This is a huge change to the doctrine system. Now you can move them around, tweak your doctrines, and not lose that doctrine. It is still available for me to go ahead and put right back on. So it is not expended anymore if you want to change it out. So now that tier of common piercing doctrine is tied to the Imperial archer. But I can go back, go over to a different archer unit. So let's say I go to my Vassal Longbowman, and I can do the same thing here. I now have 35 of them available to apply. So now that is in the pool of my other unit. So this is really great for swapping stuff out. But it gets better. On top of that, in the season store, they have added a new item called Lotus Wine. So Lotus Wine, you do have a limited number per the season store. Currently they have it set to 50. That may or may not stay the same. But Lotus Wine is an item that you can buy from the store that'll actually remove the doctrine from the pool and add it back to your bags. So if you have a doctrine that you have a limited number of, say you only have 3 available, and you really want to use that on another unit, you can use the Lotus Wine, remove it from the pool, and put it back in your bags, and then use it on the other unit. So not only are the doctrines not expended if you want to swap them in and out, but you have a limited number of chances using Lotus Wine to take that doctrine completely away from that unit and use it on another unit. So this is going to give us great ability to work with our doctrines and move them around and tweak them and figure out what combination we like. Or it'll allow us to utilize temporary doctrines better. So now you're not going to get rid of that really nice doctrine to put a temporary one on just to have the issue that when it runs out, you now have to replace your temporary doctrine. So this is probably one of my favorite setups in Season 4 that they have adjusted. The new doctrine system, I think, is wonderful because it will let us tweak and finally find our favorite combination of doctrines. Obviously, as most of you already know, there are 4 new units that come with Season 4. Those are going to be available in the store for unit challenges like normal. So you have your Janissaries, which are a Tier 3 musket unit. The Azops, which are a Tier 4 shield unit. You have the Silidars, which are a big axe boys that are pretty heavily armored, as the Tier 5. And then you have the, can't pronounce this, Sipaphus, whatever it is, as your cavalry unit, which is a really cool addition. Now I'm going to get more in depth with these on a separate video, so keep looking around for that. We'll dive more into the actual units and their capabilities and some of the matchups that we've been testing to see how they handle things. All I got to tell you right now, though, is keep an eye out for the Azops. They're really good, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up getting nerfed. So we have the 4 new units. Like I said, I'll get more in depth with those later, but in general, they're all actually looking pretty good. As you noticed off to the side here, one of the other adjustments is since they don't have a weapon this season, like with the Maul last season, they've gone ahead and added 2 new items to your unit challenges. You have the Janissary Courage training. This is going to be all about your units. So as you step through this, you're going to gain unit medals to be able to expend on your units and level them up. And there's quite a few available for grab, as you can see. On top of that, they have a couple of expansion permits. So you got one for Tier 1. I believe you get another one for Tier 4 as you're working through that stage. You also have some doctrines up for grabs. So you have doctrines set up in Tier 4. And then your big ones are going to be the doctrines for finishing Tier 2. But mainly, it's going to be the Tier 4 when you get your extra unit available. So this one does give you a full 20 for whatever one you pick. So you'll be able to get a full-fledged tier unit. And then on top of that, for finishing the first one, you can get yourselves a Tier 3 as well. Full 20 for your Signas. So you can go ahead and get 2 units for completing the Janissary Courage training. So that's a really nice adjustment as a little extra perk. You can buff up some units, pick up a couple of extra units, especially for players who don't have as many units available. Finishing that tier 4 and getting that free high tier unit is very nice. They also added the Sipahi loyalty test. I did not say that right. But this one, like with the other one, is for units. This one is for you as a player. This one's going to get you some schematics that you can pick up. Going to get you some powdered silver or other type salvaging stuff. Big one is your emotes. So all the emotes in the game do have to be earned. They are not a given. So you can get the cheer emote from finishing tier 1. Tier 2 is going to be your skill points, more of the powdered silver, and another schematic. Tier 3 is going to be fragile skill book. So with this one, I think you get 3 of them. You get the powdered silver and another schematic. The big one's tier 4, where you can get more skill points. So you're going to get another 1,000, 3 more fragile skill books, and that flex emote, which we all know and love. A wonderful flex is always nice, especially when you take down your opponent. So it is another wonderful addition. So you can get some couple units and get a couple emotes for yourself, as well as those skill books, which if you're not really big into the death matches and stuff, it's going to be a pretty good addition to be able to get. I think it's 5 or 6 total skill books out of that. So on top of the new unit challenges, you have the general battle pass. So for the battle pass, let me skip to the front. So there are going to be a few notes for the battle pass this season. So first off, if you just have the standard, you're going to still get some treaties, a few emotes like the clap emote, but the big one obviously is those with battle pass. So right off the bat, you get an attire outfit as well as your fortune's favor, giving you that increased glory opportunity. You've got plenty of the new hero coins as you go through, as well as some treaties. Some other notes though are that they did bring back mercenary attire chests, so you can get some random attire throughout the battle pass. I think there's a total of 3 or 4 of these. So they did bring that back. And then the next thing of note is going to be they do have a banner that is obtained at level 20. Past that, we have, once again, another attire chest. But you get your goodbye emote at 35. You're going to get your general skins as well. So the Janissary unit attire is the tier 50, as well as your Blood Royal title for hitting 50 as well. You're going to get one of the biggest, I can't understate this, one of the biggest items is a legendary siege item, the Great Bombard. Oh boy, 45,000 damage. You only get like 8 shots with this thing. But in testing, I took out a gate in 1 shot. I took out a ram in 1 shot. I nearly took out sections of wall, like the damaged sections of wall that you can break down. I nearly took those out in 1 shot. It was like a tickle of damage that needed to be done. So 1 shot with it, and then you run up and smack it a couple times, and even sections of the wall went down. This thing is in essence an instant open whatever you shoot at. I did do some testing at trying to hit giant groups of units, and in essence I one-shot any heroes that were within the direct line of fire, and pretty much any units within the direct line of fire. These are very rare, and they are very powerful. But you do get one at 60. So that's your kind of free one that you get, and this is a game changer. Like I said, you can pretty much take out anything you pointed at in 1 shot, and you get about 8 shots with it. So you do pick one of those up at 60. So the next one's going to be your horse attire at 70. Show you that in a second. But at 70, you also get your weapon attire as well. So that's going to be a big one to hit. The weapons, a little mixed bag. I really like most of them. There are a couple I'm not a fan of, but that's all personal preference. So we'll kind of give you a quick look at those in a second. You get your Taunt 2, which is kind of like a hand across the neck type thing, at 75. You're also going to get the helmet attire at 85. And then obviously 100 is going to be the full outfit that you saw my character wearing a bit ago. So that's going to be at 100. We did pass, you do get a laughing, it's called Smile, but it's a laughing emote at 90 as well. So that's your general battle passes. You can kind of pause and look through all the different tiers if you would like. Challenges this time, they did change. So it's a whole new UI. As mentioned, a lot of UI changes have happened. This one is supposed to make it look a little more cinematic and be a little bit easier for new players. They made it pretty simple to follow along. A big change this season is that the challenges are going to actually tell a story. So each week is going to have a video associated with it, and that will push forward a story as it progresses. With this season, there are also 2 new maps. We didn't get to see the one map because they are still working on it and they still had some tweaking to do. We did get to see one of the maps already. I'll try to get a video up of that map as well. But one of the big things with it is that map is actually going to progress through the weeks. So as you go through the weeks, you'll have a little video that's supposed to tell a story. And on top of that, that map will change with that story. So it's going to evolve as it goes. So at the start of the season, that map's going to be a little bit more head to head. And as it progresses and those adjustments are made to that map, it's going to change the gameplay and style of it. So it's a really cool adjustment for season 4 that I'm looking forward to seeing, is how this story is going to progress and how that map is going to progress throughout the weeks. Because there's some nifty features on that map that I'm kind of excited to share with you. So hopefully I can get some recordings in before the weekends or the event ends and get you some looks at that new map. So yeah, definitely check it out. So on top of that, we have also the cosmetics we mentioned, and let's try to give you a quick idea of those. So as I mentioned, this is the new attire. We're hitting 100, and then the helmet, like I said, was I think at 85. So you have the free attire for just getting that battle pass and being level 1. So for some, they're going to really like this attire. I actually really like the general outfit. Helmet, I'm not a huge fan of. But I did notice that for those with the rogue's hood, this thing looks pretty sick with a rogue's hood. So definitely really nifty. Weapons, though. So we do have the long sword, which I'm kind of a fan of as well. We're also going to have your other items. Actually, I'm just going to show you in the store. Give you a quick peek. So you've got your new short sword attire. You've got your pole axe, the Taupan sword, and I'm quite a fan of the new flintlock. It looks pretty cool. The maul is also pretty nifty. The new hammer looks like a giant tenderizer. So really nice attire. Overall, I'd say they did a really good job with the aesthetic for season 4. Some of them, personally, not as much a fan of. I like the simpler stuff, but it will vary. That's all personal preference. So the new Janissary unit attire, I believe, I actually have that one hooked up with the new cavalrymen. Really nice aesthetic. Really like the horse attire. Once again, not a huge fan of the headpiece. Some people will really like it though. All an aesthetic preference. But it is also a really nifty attire. And then we have the horse attire, which I am quite the fan of. So yeah, quite a few changes are coming with Season 4, and I think they did an excellent job with them. Between the new UI changes, which I do believe clean stuff up, and that does actually extend to the UI for supply points. So it's going to be the same aesthetic as this barracks UI will then be used with the supply points, and you'll probably see that in a future video as I show some of the footage from the maps. So we've got that UI change, the new emotes, which are really cool, which actually I'll show you real quick. That's in a whole separate tab in your character pane under action. So you've got your various emotes that you can right click on and add to the wheel. And then they even have the other tab, which is going to be ones for in combat. So these are the things that you can actually use as responses in combat to communicate with your team. So that's going to be that second tab. And then you actually access them from holding or hitting middle mouse button. So hold down your middle mouse button and then you can select your emote. Really cool. I hope they definitely add a bunch of these and expand that selection. So yeah, so we've got the UI changes, emotes, the house funds and quest systems, the new Doctrine changes, which I'm a super fan of, 4 new units, the new maps, the new cosmetics, and we've got the new adjustments to the Battle Pass. So this is a general rundown of all the new features that are coming with Season 4. If there's any you want to see more in depth, comment down below, let me know, or say so in the Discord. I will be trying to get another stream in, so feel free to try to drop in. The event's going to be ending on the 12th, so hopefully you can check out all your content creators, get a good idea of what Season 4 has coming, and hope to see you in streams, and hope to see you in Season 4 when it comes out. Keep an eye out for some extra videos, and until next time, I hope to see you on the battlefield. Bye, everyone. Holy crap! They just wiped out a T5 unit.